Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Jane Krazer, and welcome to another Zorra call. And today is Sunday. I don't know if that works well with everyone, but we are trying it out. Give me your feedback in regards to whether Saturday or Sunday is best for all of you. Anyways, welcome. Today is October the 9th, 2022. It's been quite a journey, I would say, in so many different ways. And, of course, I think one of the key things is to remember why we came here, where you came from. And so today we have another wonderful call. We have our wonderful Dr. Tom to give us some updates on what is happening in the RV world, et cetera. And then, of course, it'll be followed by Dr. Jerry, and he'll be talking more a little bit about the NUMMI. And then we have Michael Andrews, since many people, or a number of people, have had some questions regards that. So for those that want to hang in there and listen to Michael, just know that he'll be on our call for today. All right, so as we start off on this wondrous, glorious, and loving day, I do have an announcement, and I'll mention that to you after Zorra brings forth his message for all of us today. So, Zorra, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and you could take over now. Good morning, Zorra.
Well, first off, I'm not a kid.
Zorra, hold on one second. I can't hear you as well. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you fine.
Really? Oh, that is so strange.
Yeah.
Hold on one. And you can hear me fine also, right?
Can you hear me better now?
That seems a little bit better. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Well, hang on a minute. Is that better?
Well, you know, when I spoke with you earlier, it was absolutely perfect, so I don't know what happened here. Hello?
Well, I put it on speaker. Can you hear me better now?
Well, why don't you go ahead and continue? I think you're much better now. Very good.
I'm going to be reading from one of Diane's books. It's called Tree Talk, and you can get that book, Tree Talk, from Diane's website, which is www.BIANNE.ROBBINS.com. And you can order her books directly through her. That way she gets all the proceeds and doesn't have to go through third parties, but sellers. Anyway, I'm going to be reading the first few pages of the Tree Talk. Dear reader, just as the cetaceans are Earth's record keepers living in the oceans, do you know that the trees are record keepers living on land? The trees comprise a vast underground communication network system that transmits information to all trees everywhere on Earth. Know instantly all that occurs. They are living libraries embedded in bark that we as humans can easily tap into. Note the term tap root. We can tap into the vast library. That line is always open to us, so tap into it. They are eagerly awaiting our call. They are waiting for us to acknowledge them as the tree people. For uncensored worldwide news and answers to any question, hug a tree. It not only saves paper, but their lives as well. In the early 2008, Diane Robbins received this message during a time of meditation. We are the tree people, and we would like to begin our dictations to you again. Know that our book is finished. The call goes out to the Cetacean Nation. The way is clear. We too need a voice to speak through, and we have chosen you, who also chosen us. We wave our leaves at you to begin. We thank you for putting our message on the last page of the Cetacean Nation book. The Cetacean Kingdom has made their voices known through you, and it is now time for the trees to do the same. We wish you voyage through our leaves and wave in the wind. Greet, dear people of Earth. We are the tree people. We thank you for reading our book messages dedicated from us to you. For the purpose of acquainting you with our world and seeing the world around you through our eyes. For our eyes encompass all realms, including yours. As you read our messages of love, know that our love for humanity is deep and profound. For you are the caretakers of the earth, and this is your domain. This is your world to love and to cherish. We only remind you of the great responsibility you have so that you can fulfill it. Many have come before you without the awareness of the interconnectedness of all life. We only bring this to your attention so that you can see the link between us, yourself, and all life forms, and care for all of nature's creatures as your own. For indeed, all creatures are your children, whether born of you or not. For there is only one great mother, Earth, and she is the Earth herself. Giving birth to us and giving birth to all a home to enable us to have the experiences we need for our souls to grow and thrive, so we can move on to higher realms. So cherish the earth, feel the sacredness of all life, and work in harmony as your feet touch the earth and your heart intertwines with ours. We thank you for reading our book, and through our messages, may you understand the great laws of life and act to bring peace and harmony back to our planet. We stand with you as one. The tree people are very lighted beings, and you can see how their auras fill the sky in towers of light waves radiating from their inner essences. They are tubes of light carrying vast amounts of information and folklore to disseminate to humans on Earth. If only humans would tune into their frequency and connect with them on the wavelength, this is easy to do. You just call on the trees and invoke their presence and ask them to transfer their library to your vast vault inside you, known as your brain. Your vault is particularly and practically empty, so you have much storage room inside, just waiting to be filled with documents containing the mysteries of life. All the mysteries you haven't as yet been able to unravel in your closed states of existence. The trees are open to all and not closed in their belief systems or ways of thinking. They are open to the universe and all life around them and will welcome information coming from all sources and all places. They have a cataloging system built right into them that filters and sorts all the information into categories and then files them, these categories, away for easy retrieval, just like in the most modern libraries. Only the trees do it themselves, automatically, without any help from man-made technology. Yes, trees are our most magnificent beings, just waiting for you to retrieve all the information and knowledge of the earth, and they have stored over the millennia for you. And that is their message from
beautiful
trees to you guys. Understand, this book was, written by Diane Robbins, but all the dictation comes from the trees, and she picks up on the impulses and puts them into words. So that would be a fantastic book. Well, for me, it's always.
So tell us a couple of examples of. Yeah, so tell us examples of you talking with the trees and etc. Particularly the trees.
Well, when we were traveling up from here, going up to Mount Shasta, and we were traveling through a forest of trees on the highway, the trees were welcoming us in their presence.
And what did they say?
Thanking us for well, they were thanking me for the energy output that I was expanding out to them, and vice versa. So they were doing the same thing. When you walk around trees, if you look up, especially on a day where there's no wind at all, and you see the trees' leaves moving, or even the branches moving, and there's no wind, it's kind of an indication letting you know that they're trying to communicate with you. So, if you ever see trees moving and there's no wind, you know you have a connection. So, and when you put your back up against the tree and your feet flat on the ground, you can communicate with the trees. Become quiet. Don't have a cell phone with you, or a computer, or telephone, iPhone, whatever, or Android, or whatever it is. Just leave all that stuff at home when you go into the forest, and put your back up against the tree, your feet flat on the ground, barefoot if possible, and you will be grounded to the earth and in direct connection to the tree that you're leaning up against. So, if you really want to get a thrill, take a stethoscope is, and put it up against a tree, and listen to the heartbeat of a tree. If you're nice and quiet,
sure, yeah.
and in a tune with them, you will hear the heartbeat coming from the tree. I did that with a lumberjack person, and he's no longer cutting trees anymore, because when he was cutting into the tree, he heard it scream with a stethoscope, and he stopped cutting trees.
Yeah.
So,
well, we need to stop cutting trees anyways, because it depletes
of course,
the forests, and they're part of us. They're part of us. Everything is a part of us.
It does more than that. It does more than that. It depletes your oxygen.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much for that. And that's so true. Exactly. We're having we have less oxygen right now, so we definitely need to stop doing what we're doing.
Yes, here's the message that they're saying. When there's no more trees, there's no more people.
Right. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for that message for today.
And you can build homes out of hemp. You don't have to build them from wood.
Correct.
We in Hollow Earth, we build our homes from hemp and crystals. So there is no need to be cutting wood to build a house. You can make it from hemp. When treated properly, is stronger than steel.
I'm sorry, we missed what did you just say?
I said hemp when treated. I said hemp when treated is stronger than steel.
Okay, very good. Well, very good message for all of us today, to remember to be connected to Mother Earth, because we are all one, not just one with the cosmos, but one on our planet with everything that is alive, from oxygen to the trees to the soil. And that's not even including Hollow Earth and Telos that most people are not aware of. So thank you for the message for today, Zorra. That was beautiful. And again, it's another instance in which, you have given us, another way to be able to connect, especially with Mother Nature. So thank you. All right, let me go ahead now and see if we can bring in Dr. Tom. I hope he's around. So here we go, Dr. Tom. You're next up. Thank you so much, Zorra. Thank you. We love all your messages that you provide for us. And, of course, one last thing, if you're interested and would love and we highly recommend that online on Diane Robbins' website, so that you I think it's Diane Robbins, NRR. Oh, it's no, it's not double R. It's double B, ROBBINS, DIANNE, DianeRobbins.com. Right, Zorra? Hello? Zorra, I think I lost you again. Zorra,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, what was happening there? We didn't even hear you there for a few minutes, for a few seconds. All right, tell people again Diane Robbins' website, real quick.
www.ROBBINS.
How about Diane first?
You're right. Capital DIANNE, capital ROBBINS.com. And if you order her book directly through her, she'll get all the proceeds, and some have to share it.
Well, she'll get some of the proceeds. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Diane, if you're listening. All righty. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring in Dr. Tom now. And let's just see. I know a lot of, many of you are trying to, well, not trying, but keep up with the news out there. And so here we go. Okay. Of course, today is Sunday, so hopefully people know that we have a Sunday call versus a Saturday call. Let's see if we can get them.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay.
Mark.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or...
Oh, hold on a second. Let me, I think that's Araya. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and try that again. For Dr. Tom. Let me make sure that I've got the right number. Yep, I have the right number. Oh, here we go. Nope, sorry about that. Now we got him.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Dr. Tom. How are you today?
Doing well. Well,
happy Sunday to you and to everyone. All right.
That's right.
Well, now that we've got you, we know that you've got some news you'd like to be able to share with us. Got the platform. Thank you so much, Dr.
Okay. Great. Well, let's kind of take a bird's-eye view here. Banking control has been going on for about 100 years plus. Really strong. That's been going on for much longer. But so we had to take down people, the good high-frequency individuals, off-planet and on-planet, had to take down the banking system. You know, it all started with 1913 Federal Reserve. So that had to be taken down with the central banks, the BIS, and the managed families. Then you had the Mongolian families, which controlled everything around the 1200s. They had to be controlled. The Pacer family had to be, their money had to be restored back to the people, which it has, is quadrillions, the Phoenicians family. So if we look at this, you know, we focus on when's the RV going to happen, when's it going to happen. Well, this has been a process that's been going on since the 50s, okay? And each step has had to have a situation so we could have an RV. So you have to start off at the top with the Mongolian family, the Phoenicians, the Pacer family, all right? So they have all been taken out. And then the banking family, which for forever has controlled the world markets around the world, and they would funnel their money into the Fortune 500 companies, corporations, right? Then that would be funneled into the stock markets, right? That's how they did that. So the good guys, or the white hats, had to take all of this structure down. And you think it's the massive amount. So the RV is just a tiny little speck on there, because you look at what is going on. You have the QFS, which had to be switched over from the old SWIFT system. Then you had to move quadrillions of money from the old system into the new system, right, to restore the gold, which is from the Vatican and all over the world, from the Philippines, had to be restored back to these countries and then you had to verify the gold that was stolen, and then you had to put it on ledger, and then you have to arrest all these people. And this is what has been going on. And we say, well, what's going on? It should RV. Well, it's all a process, and we're getting so close now, because if you look at the magnitude of really what's going on here. So the bank arrests have been going on every day. We've heard that forever. The ledgers are now being processed. Each country will have their tokens, 1,000 tokens, blockchain. Ripple, XRP will be moving the money around. So you have to see this big machine had to come together. Just massive amounts of technology and conversion over, and finding the right place to put everything in. And so we look around what's going on. You look at the Zimbabwe, the lower denominations have been put out. Okay, they had those $100 trillion notes, but now they have $5 notes. They have coins that's related to asset or gold back. Look at Venezuela. They just came out with their $5 notes, $10 notes, $20 notes, because they had $1 million notes. Just recently, Iraq is educating their people about the coins. A lot of these people who were younger, 25, 30, they have no idea what coins were. So the world RV is now happening every place. So Venezuela, Iraq, everything, all the countries now are doing their RVs. It's a slow process, but it's all turning over. And each country, you have to restore it to the banking laws. For the U.S., everything is tied to our restored republic. So you have new banking laws, new constitutional laws, because the laws that were supposedly run by the bad guys were all over the place. So we had to restore, and each country has to restore each constitution and their military, and also how they do elections. So, you're taking a massive amount of change and putting it over to this new era here. We have Nasara Jasara, right? That had to be implemented over a period of time. We had to create a new level playing field. Just recently now, the UK money, the US dollar, they're all becoming equal, okay? Instead of being, one's $1, one's $5. So you have this massive change coming along. And everything had to change along with it. You had to change your food. Look at the corporations that have produced these toxic foods, the healthcare, the banking, religions, music. Everything had to be taken down because it was all interrelated to this changeover of wealth. Currently, right now, we have the BRICS, which is 5 countries, and they are asset-backed. And then you have 20, 30, 130 countries now joining the BRICS, Saudi Arabia. So everyone is dumping the fiat dollar and converting it over to their own currencies. So the QFS will basically end corruption, and it's all related to Starlink. Everyone in the world now has massive amounts of people have signed NDAs. That's why it's so quiet. The fiat money will be credited to your accounts and converted over to the QFS system, and you'll have supposedly we'll be getting our Q phones, and that'll be tied directly into the U.S. Treasury or whatever country that you're in. So Basel III compliant is done. All the signatures are signed. All the ledgers are balanced. Then you have the QFS system, which is linked to Stellar, Starlink, Ripple, XLP. And then you have the big changeovers in Africa, which will soon be known as one of the richest countries in the world. So much going on there. They've kept it suppressed and so quiet. But finally, we're seeing the conversion over. Everyone is waiting for the call. We just got word that all major exchange centers, leaders have been told to head to Reno for final training. That is happening either this week or next week. And they're going over the final procedures of how to do the exchange. So each exchange center, which is thousands of them, the head lead people, all are in Reno now, training to how to do the exchanges. So, and we don't know if that's going to take another week or two, but everything is going good. We're in good position. So that's the news today. So just be patient, and then I'll talk about how we can be patient for a minute here. If you have any questions on that part, and I'll end my. Okay. Well, the best thing to.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Oh, here, I just wanted to just kind of tag along since we were talking about the RV and everything. So, also, I just wanted to just kind of mention again, it's just really reiterating a little bit of what Dr. Tom had said at the tail end, and that we are all ready. Everything is ready to go. All of the remember knowing that everything is global, as Dr. Tom has already mentioned, that everything is really in place. So we're just waiting now for the green to go, so we can all go through the process. It has taken a long time. They've had to be really precise and meticulous so that the bad guys cannot interfere any longer. So we are at that place. So anytime, and just really, really, again, please be prepared. Get your notebooks ready. Understand what your plans are, your humanitarian projects, especially those of you who listen to our calls. The ones that if you feel yourself to be the humanitarian, or you want to call yourself a light worker or whatever, you are here for a specific place, and that is to help the world. So helping the world always starts with oneself, the family, and then, of course, your community. And then you can go from there. And again, according to Mr. S., one of our teachers, he is saying that they've been very, very busy putting this all together, but we are absolutely ready, and it's just going to be a matter of hours or a few days, and we're ready to go. So thank you so much. That was really comprehensive, Dr. Tom. Certainly do appreciate all of your information to kind of bring a full comprehensive narration of what has happened. So thank you so much for that. All right. So I know you've got a little bit more news to share with us. Thank you.
Yeah, just on your point is make sure that we're all ready, our frequency, and so important. To raise that, and I think a lot of you know that. And I do an experiment on myself. I'll be 66 here pretty soon. And I feel like I'm a kid. I just decided never to grow up. I mean, I do my weekly runs up in Tahoe, which is around 7-mile run, and it's at 10,000 feet. And I go up there and I lift boulders and I do sprints, and I come back and wake up the next day and I have no stiffness or soreness or anything. I wasn't always that way, but you can have your own med bed. You can create your youthfulness and do those things. And it's mainly through simple, if you can't run, just walk or ride a bike, and go out in nature and drink spring water, structured water. You go on the internet and just look up structured water devices. And then also, too, is in the morning, make sure you have your turmeric and your Celtic sea and lemon waters with your spring water. And that's what I do. Then I go outside and I sit in the morning sun with my headband on. Okay. and I'm earthing. And then I'll do some meditation and I'll do some stretching. I'll take a cold shower, and basically, really important too is eat as much raw food as you can, because any type of food that you have to cook, it ages you. It creates that issue. I know that's hard, but also too is stay away from things that lower your frequency, like negative thoughts, worrying, fear, things like those things, chemicals, EMFs. Make sure you keep an acid-alkaline balance, all right? There is no disease, folks. It's been a lie. There is no diseases. It's just a body imbalance. The medical profession came along and basically stated that we are, okay, you have this over here, you have cancer. So they related it to a drug and then to a surgery, okay? It's all about acid imbalance in the body. And so all these diseases that we hear, yes, there is some genetic diseases out there that are like 0.00%, but all these diseases have been made up, and all it is just body imbalances, and you can correct them. As Zorra says, you can heal yourself. You are unlimited, and you can create anything. But when you receive this blessing, if your frequency isn't high enough, it's going to be a rough road, okay? Because coming into a lot of money can wipe a lot of people out. And just as Q has stated, just stay in your highest joy and your highest creation, and keep running to the swing set. So that's about it.
That's a good one. We love it. We love it. And, of course, we tune into what you're saying. So thank you so much for that. Thank you very much, Dr. Tom. Thank you for coming here on our call and for all of that uplifting information as well. So you have yourself a great, great, wonderful day. And
you too.
We love you and thank you. All right.
Love you guys too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. So lots of really good information that is out there. And so that's why it's important for all of us always to stay above what you see around you that is not equivalent to your frequency or vibrational frequency, if you want to call it that. All right. So with that being said, I think we're probably ready for our next call. And let me see if I could get Dr. Jerry now. Go from Dr. Tom to Dr. Jerry, and let's bring him in. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, it's been a little while since we've had an opportunity to talk with Dr. Jerry in regards to the NUMI. And many of you now, not many, but a number of you are taking both the swish for the mouth and then the other one for the skin. So let's just go ahead and see what Dr. Jerry has to say regarding these updates. So here we go. All right, Dr. Jerry, hopefully you're available now. A little bit early.
You have reached 619-602-5909. Please leave your name and phone number, and I'll call you back as soon as possible.
All right. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to have to try Dr. Jerry again. Let's try that. If not, you could always have Zorra come and say hello for a short while until I can get a hold of him. Let's try him one more time.
Hello, Jane.
Hey, welcome, Dr. Jerry. How are you today?
I'm really good. Sorry, I was on a Zoom and I had to get off, and that's why you had to call twice. But I'm glad you did.
Okay.
So I'm here.
All right. Oh, very good. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us today. It's been a little while since we were with you last regarding our newly or just having a little bit of time also to talk with you about how things are with you. And so I'm just going to go ahead. Everybody knows you. I'm not going to do any more introductions other than that this is our wonderful Dr. Jerry, who has provided us with many wonderful products to be able to take, and many of us are very appreciative of all of them, and especially in regards to your understanding of how these nutrients work on the body, and of course understanding also that you come more not just because you're a naturopath or chiropractor, and those are wonderful, or Oriental medicine. All of those, your background is enormous, but part of that also is because you also, I would say that you are a beautiful spiritual teacher as well. Combining both of those aspects of who we are is also really wonderful. So thank you for being here on our call again today. Thanks, Dr. Jerry. All yours.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jane. I'm sitting outside amongst lots of trees, and there's birds singing, and et cetera. Slight breeze, so if it does pick up and causes any communication issue, I'll go inside. So just let me know if you stop hearing me properly. Okay.
This is perfect. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned the spiritual part, because absolutely we're all on a spiritual journey in this lifetime. It becomes more and more and more apparent, and there's certain things that I think this time period are requiring of us, and there's certain things that the energetics of this time period are bringing to us and literally forcing us to let go of some of the old paradigms, some aspects of the old world, the old constraints, the structure, the matrix that has been built around us is being broken down. And it's a very difficult time to live in, but it's a phenomenal, brilliant time to live in at the same time, because there's lots of transformations. And truly, that's what we're here for. That's why we took a birth, and I believe that especially that this family and those of us that are on this line, we chose to be here at this time. We manifested into this because this was the time that we could achieve greater things spiritually. And we have to realize that. And much of this matrix has been built upon consuming the energies of people up until this point and keeping people suppressed, literally, keeping them controlled. And that old paradigm has to fall away, because we are, as a collective, as a world, as earthlings, we are moving through time and space in such a way that we are entering elevated energetics. And partly, and unfortunately, that's why there's many deaths and things happening. People that just, their soul realizes that it's just too intense. They weren't meant to be here. It's not that they're just being crushed and taken away and just discarded. It's just it wasn't quite their time to be ready for this level of transition. So congratulate yourself, number one, for being here, and be open to the fact that, wow, some of this has been painful. Maybe you've lost some things. Maybe you've lost some loved ones. Maybe some property or job or things that are part of your support structure, and try as much as possible to stay internalized, reflecting on your own spiritual path rather than the loss, the physical loss, which is hard to do. It's a real challenge, and it's something that is a real test, but our ultimate growth will come through that inner journey. And that's what we have to realize, and that's why I believe that it's so important, at least at one point during the day, 1 or 2 or even 3 if you can, sit down and just be in that moment. Just breathe in and out and feel the air coming in and feel the air going out. Just realize that this moment is the most powerful moment for you right now. And the more you can be in this moment, the closer you will be connected to your spirit, the closer you will be connected to your power and who you really are, and the closer to your ultimate realization of that divine love, the reason that you're here, and that evolution and that releasing of all of that old karma. And in that moment, that moment of release, you'll feel it. You'll feel like that surrender that brings you the peace and brings you the joy that you know is in there, that's completely not able to be touched by the fear or the anger or the pain. And so keep in touch with those moments during the day, whether it's 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, whether it's just a few minutes or whether it's longer, like maybe 30 minutes. An actual meditation where you're following the air in and following the air out, or other perhaps more formal meditation techniques you've been taught. But utilize those moments and keep them sacred and keep them a part of your daily routine, because that is where your spirit really taps in and is really able to make leaps. Beyond that, we are physical beings. We are spiritual. The physical being also has emotions, mental, all of this stuff associated with it. So it's mind, body, spirit stuff, but the body it's very complex. And there's many things associated with it because there are metabolic factors that contribute to our moods, our emotions, that can even make it easier or more difficult for us even spiritually. So we really need to take care of the body, especially during these times. Partly why we talk about particular products that we found. And it's not like these products are the be-all to end-all. There's no panacea. There's no one great thing that we need to just run out and get a hold of, no matter what anybody says. It's more of a lifestyle we need to be cognizant of. And that includes getting outside. I'm sitting outside right now. It's beautiful. There are trees. There's sunshine. Get outside in nature. There are certain phytochemicals, certain things that nature has just naturally present that help us to stay attuned. Our DNA is consistent with the other things that have evolved on this planet, whether it's plants, whether it's animals, just like the beneficial bacteria that live on the surfaces of our body and all through the alimentary tract, everything that all this life that we live among resonates with us and supports us. And so to isolate from that is not wise. So get out in nature, get out into some sunshine. If you can actually walk, do it. This organism loves to move, and it's supported by movement. It's supported by exercise. Whatever level that you can do, I believe walking is probably the most superior exercise because you can typically do that most of your life unless you've become disabled. And that's just something that consistency is one of those things that you want with that form of support exercise. The other thing is watching your diet. You know, we tend to, because we're in a hurry, we don't have time, maybe we're cutting corners in our life, we go to fast food or junk food, or you walk by the refrigerator and you're hungry right now, so you just grab something that's, you know, like a piece of the cake. We tend to gravitate toward that immediate gratification, but from a lifestyle point of view, and that's fine. Moderation in those things, it's absolutely fine, and sometimes the soul just needs that. Sometimes that piece of cake is something that will satisfy your soul and bring you peace in that moment. And so don't get down on yourself if you do that. But from a lifestyle point of view, try to make healthier choices. Try to choose from the fresh foods, whole foods. Try to eat more fruits and vegetables, things like that. Simple foods, and less in terms of the processed kinds of things. So that's really important because that's live, and truly we are what we eat. And those are the live, living things that help to bring life to our bodies and that don't overburden our bodies to have to detox and have to deal with it and to get rid of it. So in terms of lifestyle, those are important choices. Now, beyond that, there are a few products that help support our life energy. And during these times, we especially need that. And we've covered many of them over the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, maybe a little longer. We found the age pill. The age pill gets rid of the results of glycation. That's one of the byproducts of metabolism that tends to build up in the cells and literally poisons the cell from the inside out. So the age pill still has merit. Still, the company Sizzle carries that. And it's a good thing to include in the daily regimen. We talked about Zealous because Zealous had a spirulina, and I've always loved spirulina, but it had the one bad aspect, and that one bad aspect was that it's a powerful detoxifier, and it's very difficult to grow it on an environment anywhere in this earth that it doesn't pull the toxins out of that environment, because it will. Now you have something that's already loaded up on toxins, so it doesn't detoxify you as effectively and could even be harmful. So there's a company in Luxembourg that recognized that, and they spent upwards to $70 million creating a facility where it's super, super clean, and they could grow the most pure, and they optimize it along the way around temperature, pH, sunlight, and nutrients, so that it truly is the best spirulina on the planet, in my opinion, and it's free of any toxins. So that's a great tool as well, something to include in our daily regimen, because it gives all the nutrients along with the detoxifying effect. Lately, we've talked about a product brought to us by Stephen K. Scott, who is a unique individual that for 4 decades has focused on bringing breakthrough products. And 4 decades ago, seemingly, he aligned himself spiritually, began to lead a very spiritual life, connected in that way, and he felt led to these breakthrough products that include in the arena of learning, in the arena of weight loss, and the arena of exercise. But now he has what he feels is his greatest breakthrough, and I have to agree, is a nano-sized glutathione. Now, why that, and why is that important? Well, glutathione is something that I learned about in school as the most powerful antioxidant that our body could have. It's endogenous, meaning we make it. And so it's unique to us, and it is recognized thousands of times more powerful than anything else we regard as an antioxidant, like vitamin C, vitamin E, even the other endogenous antioxidants, catalase, superoxide dismutase. Glutathione reigns supreme. And it has the ability to heighten the effects of the other antioxidants. It actually can help vitamin C and vitamin E recycle and be used multiple times. And the same with catalase and superoxide dismutase. It supports them. But glutathione itself has way more diverse functionality than those particular antioxidants. In fact, 400 known functions. Everything from creating thousands of different peptides in our body to helping to support liver function, and the liver has 500 known functions medically, brain function, kidney function, lung function, immune function. In fact, our immune system would not work without glutathione. And the thing about glutathione is that it's optimal when we're young. It's supposedly at its peak between the ages of 18 to 21. And the things that deplete it are the things that are rife in the world today. Stress depletes it. Toxins deplete it. Not enough sleep depletes it. Some people, certain mold exposure or certain deficiencies like magnesium or manganese or selenium or things, that all of these things deplete our body's ability to create it. So back in 1985, I read an article about glutathione relative to liver function. And when liver function was low, it was saying check glutathione levels because correspondingly, when glutathione's low, liver function is lowered. So back then, we were dealing with a lot of liver abnormal function issues. We tracked a lot of that back to gut function, the gut, and then leaky gut, and issues relative to that, overloading the liver. And of course, even back in the 80s, there were toxins in our environment. There has been since the Industrial Revolution started 100 years ago, which has been exponentially year by year growing. So it's exponentially greater today than it was back in the 80s. But we wanted to figure out a way to upregulate glutathione and to help support, because it supports gut function, liver function, brain function, all of the functions of these disparate and joined parts of the body. We were attempting to optimize the body's ability to maintain itself, and glutathione seemed key. We worked with precursors, but with some it worked kind of well, and others it did not seem to work very well. So we struggled with that, and some docs actually started using IV glutathione, but in functional medicine, you never like something where you have to overload the system. And with an IV, you do. An IV, because of its inconvenience, you'd have to, go to a place and have, the venipuncture and actually take the substance into your body through an IV, and you overload the body. And the half-life, we used to think it was longer, but now we know it's 90 minutes, means that 3 days later, it's pretty much worthless what you accomplished. And at the cost of around $200 a pop, it just wasn't convenient, wasn't good. Then we began to recognize in overloading the body, now you're creating pathways that could cause more harm than good. So just like I said, in functional medicine, overloading the body can always create some kind of burden. Plus, you have to look at the substrate. What is it? What carries the material? What is your body actually dealing with? So you kind of set glutathione aside. The only way we could deal with it is to give it the precursors. Precursors weren't that effective, even though in high dosages they could be a problem. So it was never really cut and dried until Stephen K. Scott's breakthrough. And that's when I got excited. It'll be it was February 1st when I first really found out about this. And it's nano-sized to less than 10 nanometers. Now, nano is 10 to the negative 9. It's very, very, very small. No one has been able to get glutathione down to that size of less than 10 nanometers. There's some companies that claim to have nano, but it's really more micro. It hasn't crossed that threshold. Now, the difference is getting into the cell. You can take even an IV glutathione, and that's why you put so much into the system, is you literally have to force it into the cell. And we found out later that it actually breaks down in the blood to the constituent parts, so your body still has to work with the precursors once it gets into the cell. In some people, genetically, the genes are turned off that are required to take the L-cysteine and the glutamate and the glycine and put them together and make glutathione. So for those people, even the IV glutathione is proved to be ineffective. So now we can take it into the cell, swish it in the mouth with the Numi swish. It's absorbed directly into the blood. It says on the label 30 seconds. I recommend longer to get maximum absorption, at least 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. Just hold it in the mouth, hold it under the tongue, swish it around, and do it a couple of times a day. You'll get much more benefit. And it's into the blood instantly, and it's into the cells within 70 seconds. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where it actually goes in, locked and loaded and ready to go, so your body doesn't have to build it from precursors, which it may or may not be able to do, and in some people, having to get rid of the precursors. Now, here's the brilliance. As the cell function is upregulated by the fresh, ready-to-go glutathione, which supports cell function, it supports the mitochondria, it helps to light up the DNA, helps to protect the DNA, helps to protect the telomeres. In doing that, the functionality increases so that if those genes are turned off, that support can begin to light that up, so that L-cysteine that is introduced along with the nanoglutathione, it's also nano-sized L-cysteine, so it gets into the cell. The body can start picking that up and actually manufacturing its own glutathione. The thing about glutathione is some people, it wakes them up immediately. They notice it. They notice more higher levels of cognition. They notice they sleep better. They notice better energy, better mood. Some people, it's so subtle that support, because that's the mechanism, is supporting the function, that and it's a part of a lifestyle that 3, 4, 5 months down the line, they look back and they realize how different they're functioning than they were back then, as long as they're honest with themselves. So it's just one of those things. It's not like a drug. It's not like a caffeine or some, it's not going to bring some instant result in most people. But if you can track it, you'll notice a lot of things happening. Now, you'll see in some articles about, let's just say let's call it the jib jab, that there's heavy metals, there's things like mercury, there's propylene glycol, there's things that toxify your body, and that's a problem. And glutathione is listed there as one of the things that help to detoxify you. And that is one of the most valuable things we have relative to glutathione, is it's specific to certain heavy metals, it's specific to certain industrial pollutants, and it will help our bodies to rid themselves of these pollutants. And then the graphene oxide is a big one. We're reading a lot of material from coroners and cardiologists, et cetera, that are pulling very, very strange things out of people's arteries, and their clots like have never been seen before. And we believe it might be relative to the graphene oxide, which is a self-assembling agent to assemble these structures inside the body. So we definitely want to get rid of them. We want to keep rid of them. And so that's why we want to make sure we upregulate glutathione in our bodies. And we know typically we don't have enough, because although that's optimized around age 18 to 20, we lose on average 10 to 15% per decade. But if we're toxic, if we have a chronic disease, if we have high stress, all of those things are running rampant these days, you lose it much faster. At age 45, it accelerates. And at age 65, you'll literally drop off a cliff. So by the time you're in your late 60s or 70s, you're operating on way less, possibly half the glutathione you need. So that's just a strong consideration that we need to consider. Also, back to lifestyle, we really important that we do take care of our diet and make sure we're getting the nutrients into our body, because even glutathione requires trace minerals like selenium, magnesium, manganese, various cofactors that we get in our foods. Vitamin B2 is noted. And so if you're eating whole foods, living a good lifestyle, meditating, a couple of times a day, getting outside, getting some exercise, you'll give your body a chance, which gives your mind, which gives your spirit, your entire being a chance to optimize the times we live in. So that's pretty much a view from 30,000 feet. Jane, if you have any questions, or anybody has any questions or anything else you want me to talk about, I'm here.
That otherwise enormous. A lot of great information, and as well as in terms of spiritually, where things are at, and how, a lot of that, how you put that all together for all of us is really amazing. It's beautiful, and we thank you for all of that. I think information in regards to the NUMI is also very excellent for all of us, again, to recall and, to really get on the bandwagon, to really start really taking it. So with all of that information, people will probably be more efficient, or to make sure that it's more effective to do this consistently. So I think, well, I don't know if let me see if I have any people that have any questions. I thought that was very, very thorough. So I don't know whether you can beat what you just said. I think you answered almost everything. I think and I think just understanding all of that in terms of how it supports, I think people can kind of understand, well, this is how it's really going to be able to help my body. But if there's anybody out there that has additional questions, that Dr. Jerry is here to be able to answer your question. Otherwise, I think we're really, really good to go. I don't know. I don't have any questions at all. I just tell myself, okay, you better make sure that you take your swishes morning and evening. So, because sometimes I forget. So, and then I think maybe if you could talk a little bit if you could talk a little bit about the skin, because I know you say that it's used for the face, but my feeling is that you can use that more than just on the face. It's for the skin. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about that, but I think I don't see anybody's hands raised. So if you could do that, that would be really great to an adjunct to the swish.
The amazing thing about the skin spray is that being nano-sized, just like it with the swish, it's able to penetrate deep. It's able to get through all 23 layers of the epidermis. And it gets down to where the actual collagen and elastin, where you can actually make an impact, and also where the microcirculation can be. So you can actually pick some of that up. We've had people, and I know it's not advertised to be used this way, but we've had people that have had certain traumas to, joints and things, that rubbed it on those areas and said, wow, that everything restored much more quickly than it ordinarily would have. And one of the things about glutathione is that it does support all cells. So whether it's connective tissues, whether it's vascular tissues, that support is sometimes really necessary. So don't just think about it's just a facial thing. It also has the hyaluronic acid and the collagen that are nano-sized as well, which allow it to penetrate deeply. And anyone in the skincare industry knows that, just regular hyaluronic acid or collagen tends to be very expensive.
Sure.
So what we have with NUMI is, I think, a very affordable, very effective way to help support our body in many ways as we go through these traumas and trials and tribulations that we really are all here to go through to get to the other side, to realize, who we ultimately really are. And it's just part of the process, one of the tools that we have to support that process. So it's just up to us whether we use them or not.
Yeah, because we're out west, we're in Nevada. I find for myself, because I grew up in Illinois, so there's so much humidity there. And when I came out west, it was like, oh my gosh, why is my skin so dry? I got to drink a ton of water. So I started drinking more water than I normally would, right? And then with the NUMI, what I do is I will go ahead and put it on my skin, because of what it can do, just from what you've already explained in terms of the collagen and hyaluronic acid, formula. I find that really is helpful for my skin as well. So I will spray it on my body as well, besides my face, on a daily basis. So I think it's a great duo to be able to have something that you could spray on your skin, as well as to be able to swish it in your mouth and then get all of the support that your body needs in every single way. So it's a great, and even though it may seem like, oh, it's kind of tasteless, or it may have a tiny subtle taste to it, it's like, well, I don't feel a difference or whatever. Again, it's very subtle. It's just like meditation, to be able to move from one to leaving this plane, this reality, and moving higher. It's a real subtle, but it takes daily practice. So same thing with any of these wonderful products, take it diligently and do the other things like great foods, exercise. If you can't exercise, do a little bit of walking, at least get out in nature. Put your feet on the ground, on the soil, and do some earthing. Things like that helps you to communicate with life that's outside of the house, because that's who we are. So we need all these fantastic, amazing products, just like the Numi, like the Zealous, and even the Age Pill. All of those are really excellent products to be able to take. So, I mean, sometimes if you can't take one, at least take one of the three to help at least to support your system, because our bodies at this time really, really need enormous support. So especially if you're over 66 or 65. I was at 66 and Dr. Cham is getting a birthday pretty soon. It's a double six. That's a really good number. But again, hey, make sure that your glutathione level doesn't drop. So I fit in that category, so does Urea. So anyways, long story short, go ahead. Don't forget to take your Numi.
Yeah, absolutely. You make a good point. Well, I started meditating 45 years ago, so it gives you a little idea what kind of numbers I'm dealing with. But anyway, I was a completely different person then, and I'm so glad as I look back at the different kind of person that I know in my heart and how I changed little by little. But I couldn't tell the change with each meditation, but I knew that at that time of meditation, there was something there. There was something very subtle that I kind of tapped into. And then over the years, they began to grow a little bit. And then over the decades, then you actually just begin living it. And now, one of the things my spiritual teacher told me before he left his body was even a little yoga is good, so don't forget. So even if you just sit down and recognize that place that maybe those years of meditation kind of revealed to you, just sit down and recognize it, even for just a moment, it changes everything. Changes everything in that moment, which is all there is. And the more you realize that, and the more you live there, the more it becomes your reality, until you're just living that reality. And that's where we're all headed. Every one of us, every family member on this line is headed to that place, in spite of the challenges, in spite of the pain, in spite of the doubts, in spite of everything you're dealing with. You're headed there. Just don't give up. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Dr. Jerry. Thank you so much. All right. Wow. Well, that was very impactful. Thank you so much, Dr. Jerry. Love to have you on our call today. We'll have to do this more often, and we'll talk with you real soon. You and your family have yourselves a wondrous and glorious, loving day, and thank you so much again for being here on our call today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My love to you and this entire family.
Namaste.
I truly do love you. Namaste.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. All right, everybody. Okay, everybody take a couple of deep breaths in and hold. Release. Just relax. A couple more. Breathing in. And relax. And one last time. Breathe in deeply. Hold and relax. Beautiful. Now, before I bring, we bring Doctor. I think he's kind of a doctor in his own ways. Before we bring in Michael Andrews, I would also like to share a very wonderful, beautiful, heartfelt, very touching YouTube channel for you to go and listen to. And this comes to us from our lovely, beautiful Alice Jones out in Maryland. She has brought some beautiful songs our way, from 54321 to The Trees, and she has now put together a beautiful song, and it's on YouTube. The title is I Command. So she's taken this, the I Command from our beloved Q, and brought one of those commands to her, to us as a song. It's very powerful, it's heartfelt, and again, it's all about bringing forth and touching with who you are as powerful beings. So, as source beings, you know, the gods and goddesses that we are. Beautiful, beautifully made. So thank you so much for that, Alice. We send you our love, and we thank you for that. Again, everyone, you can go after this call. Go to YouTube. The title of it is, and of course, it's by Alice Jones. It's called I Command, and in parentheses, it says meditation. So it's just a couple of minutes worth of listening to 2 to 3 minutes, and it's beautiful. It'll touch your heart as well, and understanding who you really are. Okay, very good. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our next wonderful guest, and that would be, let's see, let me go ahead and bring him in. And I know everybody wants to be able to everybody has a question for Zorra, and don't just hang in there, because Zorra will be here to do that. Let's go ahead and bring in Michael. So, Michael, hope you're getting ready. So, because we're calling you right now, and of course, most of us probably know his phone number by heart. Okay, here we go. All right, and Zorra, you are live on our call. So, I want you to do me a favor, sweetie. Don't ask him to call, because we will call, okay? Because we usually get pretty busy as well after our calls here. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and get Michael on the phone. Oh, it's a little early. Oh, I wonder if it's too early for him. I forgot to text him. Let me cancel.
Hello.
Oh. I was looking at the time. I said, I'm a little early. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, for answering this call. And welcome again to our call for today. And oops, I think I hear an echo.
You hear me okay, right?
Well, let's see. There we go. I think maybe the echo is gone. Let's try that
perfect.
again.
Sure.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, Michael. We would love to be able to hear more about any updates, as well as especially in regards to the nodes. But if you could start afresh again with the Daisy, and then the IMC, and then the nodes, and then I think we have a few people that have a question for you.
Awesome. So, yeah, I definitely want to go over everything and just make sure everybody's really alert. These are always calls to make sure that people are on top of some of the things that are transpiring, and making sure that you can be confident with what's coming next. And that's kind of what's really important. And so I want to start with Daisy. Daisy is really starting to do phenomenal, because they have now got used to what's going on with the movement of the market. So right now, as we know with crypto, this is what we call the winter of crypto. So if people are not aware of that, I always like to encourage people to understand how crypto moves. It's very aggressive. And, when things are kind of quiet, it is quiet. This is something that's just been there. So if you kind of look at, with Daisy, with the crypto space, and the reason why some people may like, oh, well, we're not seeing the returns. I mean, the returns are not really high right now. Well, inside of the crypto space, it's always going to be very imperative to know that it's always going to be a longer-term move. It's always going to be that way. Give you an example. If you look at the 2009, this is the entry where I entered in. I mean, it was like 0.008 between that time. And then it went from that to the third year where it hit $1. But then it took another year, and this is really big moves here, especially when you're dealing with finances, that it moved from $1 to the fourth year to $13.45. And then the next year after that, the fifth year, when we really saw the potential of crypto, this is when it hit a $1 billion market cap. It went from $13 to $1,100. And, of course, in year 8, we saw it go from that all the way to almost $20,000 per coin. All right? So this is really important to understand because for anybody that's on the call, we've been saying this over and over again, but I just want to stress it each time. You're looking at a longer term. We're not talking about having a 401k or dealing with life insurance, but we're talking about the people that create the most is the 3 to 5 to 8 to 9 year move. And that's really what you're looking for. You're looking for something that not only allows you to become rich, but gives you true wealth. So with Daisy, starting with that, of course, right now we're in that what you call winter of crypto. So unless it was fraud or unless it was something that was not correct, of course, Daisy is focused on long term. They're not focused on short moves. I'm a day trader, so that's something I personally look for. But when you're looking at something that you're dealing with a lot of people's funds, it's long term. So it's going to be something that's going to take a little bit longer, especially when we see the market doing what it's doing. Matter of fact, if you look at the entire market financially, you look at stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything has been highly impacted during this period that we're working on. So this is just very common in a space where things are like getting a little cold. But of course, after the cold, you start to see a reaction like I just discussed, where things can move very rapidly. It was so much faster within the crypto space. So, of course, on the Daisy side, if people are involved with that, you know that they have moved from just crypto, not just doing crypto, to Forex. And the return on that side has been 200%. So what they're doing now, they're going to be utilizing some of the funds that came in for the crypto space, and they're moving it over to the Forex space because they have a lot stronger hold on the movement of that. So that's really exciting because, we're at a 200%. That has happened in a very short period of time, and people will be able to take advantage of that. So, of course, people should be involved with the Daisy Telegrams. That will keep you informed with the different events, the different things that they have. All of that is something that you can always keep up with, because the last thing that I put in our chat was connecting to the groups that Daisy's directly connected with, just to make sure you're firmly on top of what they're doing. So that would be really good. I don't want to take too much time on that because that was a very long call that they had and a lot of updates, but definitely something that, you want to tie into so you can see what's going on with that. So a lot of success there. Very excited that, seeing in a time where most people are losing money, it's up like 200%. And like I said, they're going to be really moving things towards the Forex side, just because we know that crypto right now is definitely in its winter. We all can see that if you're looking at it. That's what's going on. The next thing is the IMC token. Now, the IMC token, we had a perfect project on that. We sold out on that. But, of course, like I said, this is not something that is a pyramid scheme or something that, it's not how money moves. I mean, this is how money is moving, so it does have its ups and downs. So we finished at 60 cents, and just to be clear on that, because a lot of people have talked to me, text me, was like, oh, I don't understand what you're saying here. Stay involved. Always make sure you're staying involved. But we got to 60 cents, and let's talk about what that really meant, because some people are like, well, I don't see that on the exchanges. I don't see that it got to 60 cents on the exchange. Well, that means you weren't involved with us. You weren't connected to us. You weren't really watching exactly how we were selling this. So we had two sides, and I talked about this on the calls, but I just want to make sure I firm up on this, just to make sure everybody's aware. Every cent that we moved up, it required 3 million sales of tokens, every 1 cent. So we literally went from 10 cents to, when they first got started, to 20 cents. And from there, every time we went from 21 to 22 to 22 to 23, we had to sell 3 million tokens organically within our group to get to that next cent. So that's true growth. You know, some people says, oh, if it's not on the exchange, it's not real growth. That's definitely not the case. What this really means is that, yes, you can actually do what we call pre-sales in the space of coins or tokens. And those pre-sales allows the token to move up in price. So our finishing price on the IMC tokens organically growing, having it where it was 3 million sales per cent, we got to 60 cents before it stopped. So some people are like, well, why can't I see that now? Because we sold out. So as we sold out of the IMC tokens, there is no more publishing of where our price is as a group because we sold out at 60 cents. So I want to make sure we're clear on that. So after we finished selling the tokens that you can actually get in-house, because we had a certain amount, we had 300 million, and out of that 300 million, 180 million were for pre-sales. The rest right now you can actually purchase on the exchanges at the current price. So, yes, because things are low, the whole crypto space is actually low right now. So there is no manipulation on that. There's nothing that anyone on that side is going to be able to do because that's just where the market is. And when the market goes back up, all the coins, all the cryptos go up as well. So just understand, as Bitcoin, for instance, goes up in price, our price will raise, but not just from Bitcoin going up, also with what we have coming in the future. So what do I mean by the IMC token and the future of the IMC token? Well, the last several calls, we've discussed our own blockchain, which is the final chain, and we also discussed the final coin that resides on that final chain, but also the IMC token. So with the white paper of the IMC token, it was always expressed that that IMC token was also going to reside on that final chain. So as we continue, the IMC token, amazing investment. We're definitely going to see some great things up and coming with the IMC token if you purchase that. And also with our project that we have now of being able to own nodes. So I want to now shift from the IMC token over to the nodes because this is where we're going to start seeing higher performance on the IMC token and what we're discussing now. So let's just talk a little bit on first, what are nodes? So we're going to go through that real quick, the definition of what nodes are. In the context of the blockchain, a node is one of the computers that runs the blockchain software to validate and store the complete history of transactions on the network. So what does that really mean? Well, what that really means is, let's just say I send money to Jane, or I send money to Billy. In the course of that transaction, instead of it being a third party or a central bank being involved, we now as a collective group can now be able to see and validate all the transactions. So if you look at Bitcoin, for instance, you can see on the blockchain these transactions that have been validated. These are how the process of securing the system works. So we're actually able to be a part of purchasing a percentage of a mine. Well, what does that really mean? Well, back in the day, there's a lot of mining that people have done. They've spent maybe $2,000 to $20,000 for mining equipment. Well, instead of having to do that, when you purchase a node, each node is worth $1 million. So right now we have different entries. We have an entry of $500. Well, that $500, what that really represents is the $500 percentage of that $1 million node. And so instead of you having to buy a $1 million node, you're able to get percentages of what the $500 value of that node is. And that allows you to make money every day, 24/7, where every 6 hours, 4 times a day, you're actually being rewarded for those validations at a certain percentage per day, right? So that I say certain percentage because that percentage fluctuates. It fluctuates on how many transactions are occurring per day. It's going to fluctuate as we get on the exchange because there's going to be more transactions. And as we develop and more people start to utilize our blockchain, that means different groups. They have different tokens, coins, NFTs. They're going to be able to access our technology. Why would they want to do that? If you start to look at, for instance, Bitcoin, if you start to look at, the Ethereum blockchain, well, if you look at the Bitcoin blockchain, it does about 1 to 2 transactions every 15 seconds. So we understand that Bitcoin wasn't really built for the fintech space. It wasn't really built for speed. Security, being self-banked, lower transaction fees, yes, that's what the Bitcoin blockchain was really there for. Then, of course, Ethereum, definitely you can see that they've merged and they've got something where now they can move faster. But just where it was before was 2 to 5 transactions every 5 seconds. They're working on now getting it to the point where they'll be able to do 50,000 transactions per second. But on our side with the final chain, we can do 1 million transactions per second. Again, 1 million transactions per second. So if you have a project or if you have technology and you're trying to have a coin or token, you now, just like we did in the beginning with the Ethereum ERC20, in the beginning we resided on the Ethereum. We're still there for this moment, but soon the IMC token is going to reside on the final chain blockchain, which is going to allow our IMC token to do what we really wanted to do, is be fast, be secure, and also be very scalable in the transactions. Because as we start having groups like the gaming institutions, as we start having countries that are going to need to be able to utilize our technology, we're in position to be able to work with whoever comes our way. And with that being said, that's where the true value in the price of the IMC token and the final coin starts to go up because of supply and demand. Because there's such a high demand for our platform, people are going to start looking into that. So that the reason why so many people, you're starting to see all this shifting going on, is because we've already seen the value of where this crypto technology is going. The value is there, but now we need to get to that place where we can utilize the technology at its full capacity. And that's really where we're getting right now. We're getting to the point of the full capacity and really being able to do things a lot quicker. So I really encourage everyone to really do your due diligence, right? Really check out what has happened year after year after year, understanding the ups and downs of our industry, but at the same time, understanding the value that people that stick and stay, people like myself, other individuals that I'm connected with that stick and stay the course. These are the individuals that create the highest value. Matter of fact, I don't care what you go out there and you take a look at. Individuals, the highest paid individuals, the ones that have the highest success, no matter if it deals with money or whatever it may be, it's always going to be the individuals that took the time and they stayed around, they waited for things to occur that got the biggest rewards. So that's something that I want to make sure that I impress upon you, because anything that we're doing, it's not going to be that wham, bam, thank you, man, in and out kind of situation where you win and that's it, but then all of a sudden everything goes away. Everything is gone. Everything that you thought was going to be there is not there anymore. So the money's there and it's gone tomorrow. Everything that we're focused on is to create wealth and to create what we call that sustainability, even when the market's going up and down. Give you an example of what I mean, okay? If you look at Bitcoin, for instance, Bitcoin has not dropped back down to the year lows of before. 2020, we actually saw Bitcoin go all the way down to 4,000, right? It was really below 4,000, right? And then after that, it continued to move up, and it passed through 20,000 and made its way to 50. And then, of course, last year we saw it go to 69,000. These are the rhythm. This is the movement of how crypto moves. It's got its ups and downs. So it's just really big to make sure you're able to stay the course and not be one that is ready to pull on, especially at this time. Someone could ask me, is this a time to actually, cash out? Absolutely not. This is a time to buy because it's very simple. When the market is low, like right now, our IMC token on certain exchanges are 11 cents, 12 cents, 13 cents, whatever it may be. Well, what does that mean? Well, this is definitely a time if you didn't get enough of those IMC tokens, we can't buy from us anymore, but you can go on other platforms like LBank. You can go on other platforms like Coinbase and make your purchases of the IMC token at the low value it is now. So some people was like, well, I bought it at this amount. It feels like I've taken a loss. No, the only time you take a loss is when you sell. Don't sell, you won't take a loss. Same thing with Bitcoin. Had a lot of people that I ran that course with, and they said, oh, I lost money in Bitcoin. You did? Yeah, I lost money. Well, the only reason why that could happen is if you sold before you waited for the price to go back up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about patience. Be patient with these currencies. This is going to be a $2.2 quadrillion space. We haven't seen nothing yet. We have BlackRock that just came in that controls close to $21 trillion with the connection with the Aladdin software, right? We have Fidelity that's around $11.2, $11.3 trillion assets under management. As this process continues to move forward, we're going to see more and more mainstream groups coming in. You may not have known this, but this is something that's added on to this call. The NASDAQ, because of BlackRock, this is someone that I trade all the time. But the NASDAQ has come on and say that we're now focused in getting into the cryptocurrency space. These are major conglomerates. These are the biggest of the biggest groups we can find out there. $1 trillion conglomerates. So when I'm saying to you, does it make sense to stick and stay? All you have to do is a little bit due diligence of individuals and groups and conglomerates that are coming into this space. I mean, BlackRock is, the income they create is bigger than 3 countries connected together. That's how big this is. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you take the time to really do your due diligence. We have education called Master Your Crypto. We have calls every single week so that you can be able to really hone in on what we're really offering to individuals. But our whole focus is to make sure that people know what's coming. I'm going to tell you, if I didn't have the people around me, individuals that were in my, part of my mentorship or part of my, association, especially back in 2009, I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now about what I'm talking about because I wouldn't have known what was going on. But these type of calls are imperative because it is giving you a glimpse of what's coming. It gets rid of the noise. There's so much propaganda. There's so much noise out there that people are listening to. And the problem is, who's right? Well, who's right are the individuals that pay big income so that they can understand and know where the market is going. So when you start talking about the Fidelities, you start talking about the BlackRocks, you start talking about some of these bigger groups, they're actually giving you a heads up. And no matter what the market is doing, I don't care how low, even though right now I looked at it before I came on this call and Bitcoin is under 20,000. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have conglomerates as big as these are coming in, it's not if it's going to get back up to high prices. It's just when. They're already saying that Bitcoin is going to get between $800,000 to $1 million in the next 10 years. That's how big it's going to be. But, yes, I wouldn't say right now to get in Bitcoin right now. I mean, I'm not advising that. But what I'm saying is that because we have some of these coins, these tokens, that are at these lower prices, you can be able to create income at the lower side so that it lowers your risk and maximize your gains in the future. So that's why we have these calls. That's why I'm spending my Sundays and times getting on this call, because I'm wanting you to be alert to something that is coming. I can't tell you how many people looked at me like I was crazy in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13. Finally, around 2015, everyone looked at me differently. And everyone's going to look at you differently as long as you understand what environment you're in and you're proactive. So be patient with this. One thing I can tell you that really allowed me to have success and be where I am today is not only did I get rid of my fear and the greed that I had because I was so afraid before I started understanding how this works, my discipline became my best friend. My ability to not listen to the noise, not listen to what's going on around me, but to stick and stay, that was powerful. I got that from my mom because my mom used to tell my dad all the time, listen, if we just park some of our money in gold, we're not going to have to worry about working anymore. Well, unfortunately, my father was the head of the house. Not to be mean or anything, but my mom was a true entrepreneur, right? But she said to him, if we just park our money into gold, into silver, where will we, we're going to be wealthy. Well, unfortunately, he didn't, really listen to her at the time. And gold, from that time that she said to where we are now, it's just grown magnificently. It's ridiculous. She was right. She was right about real estate. So I'm in all of those things. So even though my father didn't really move forward with some of the things she said, I did. And I was able to really reap the benefit. And I'm still reaping the benefit because I understand where the market's going before it gets there. So you got to become a person that you understand, okay, this is where the market is now. This is where it's going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. What you got to do is beat it to that point. You got to get there before it gets to those high numbers. Everybody talks about investments later. I wish I did this or I wish I did that. Wish I got into Amazon. Wish I got into Walmart. Wish I got into this. I wish. The question is, how do you become the person that stops wishing they got into something and starts becoming the person that you're in before it happens? That takes vision, and it takes the ability to quiet the noise, to quiet the people around you saying, this is not going to happen. And this is something I've done year after year, even right now as I'm talking to you. So a lot of people that just don't see the future, they can't see it. But we have 95 countries, 95% of 102 countries, I should say, that are all saying we're going in the direction of digital currency. I think that's really enough for us to really get that this is going to be a big situation for everyone. It's just, how are you going to position yourself? Are you going to be the person that's going to say, I wish? Are you going to be the person to say, yes, I did my due diligence, I got in, I'm good now, and I've made decisions that I can really look back and say, a lot of people say certain things, but it doesn't matter anymore because now I've succeeded. Now I'm here. So that's really just an overview of Daisy. As I said before, they're doing a big push now to shift things to the Forex because they've had over 200% success on that side, which is great. We're definitely going to be still tackling the crypto space. Not all funds are going over to that. So that's some of the things that are happening on the Daisy side. The IMC token is starting to have its integration coming from the Ethereum into the final chain. And then, of course, on our side, we have the nodes. And the nodes are creating the final chain, just like if you had a mining machine. But guess what? You're not having to deal with electricity. You're not having to deal with high fees. All you have to do is pretty much set it and forget it, get your node. And for the next 9 years, you're making money whether you're working or not. That money is working for you every single day, 24/7. You're actually getting paid 4 times a day, every 6 hours for the next 9 years. Now, the thing about that is that if you purchase, like I'm going to be purchasing nodes yearly, then it extends it another 9 years. So you could be actually getting paid for this for the next 18 years. So no matter if the market's going up or if the market's going down, we're still creating income. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I see that we have in front of us right now that's a little bit different from just purchasing a coin or a token. You're actually purchasing technology. You're actually dealing with the validation, and we know that that has to happen every single day. Every single day I look at the final chain and I'm seeing transactions, I'm seeing things being validated. That's never going to stop. So that's something that we get to participate in because we're in early. One thing I want to leave you with, just to wrap things up, and I know I'm going to definitely have, more information coming to you as the weeks come on. But the first 35 million nodes, which is really 35 nodes, because it's a 35 million value for those 35 nodes, will always produce the most final coin. It's going to reward you at the highest level. So right now, I think we are at the fourth node, so we're about 4 million in. So this is always the time. People always tell me, when is the best time to get started? It's always going to be at that moment because you're in early. And the individuals that come in early are not individuals that just hit $100,000 or even $1 million status. Depending on how you come in, you're the individuals that can hit billions of dollars status. And the reason why that is because your entry's early, and then your rewards, it's going to move up in value over time, especially in the next 3, 5, 8 years. So this is something very, very great. It is willable. So some people sometimes they say, well, I'm kind of up there in age, but I'm trying to do this for my family. Perfect. Because as the years go on, as we get to 5 years, 8 years, 9 years, this is definitely something that's willable, something that you can give to your family, even if you feel that maybe there's not a lot of time left. So always think about that. Anything that has longevity, anything that's long-term is always going to give you the highest value. So I want to give it back to Jane just in case we have some questions. And then, of course, I'll give you some contact information. But definitely do all that you can. Like I said, our entry starts at 500 and our max packages are like 50,000. You can buy multiple packages. But definitely make that push now before we start getting to the 36th node or the 38th node where you don't get as much value. All right? So, Jane, if you have anything else, I would love to answer any questions and go from there.
I have can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. I want to cover a little bit of something. So thank you so much for the information regarding the daisy, that it's where it's at, and we just need to just kind of stay put and continue with that. In regards to the IMC tokens, there's a lot of people that have taken and have purchased the IMC tokens. So, again, with the IMC, that's also something that is moving forward. You had mentioned that on the IMC, most people should remain where they are, or should they move some of what they have into the nodes, or what's the strategy here for that?
Yeah, so I always tell people, if you don't have 50,000 worth of tokens, the IMC tokens to be exact, I wouldn't put your funds into anything else. You know, I wouldn't move it over to the final coin. I wouldn't convert. The IMC tokens over to the final coin. Because you got to remember, yes, we are in the winter right now, but these tokens have sold out on our side. And now all we have are tokens that are on the blockchain. There's only 300 million. So anytime you have a limit of anything, it forces the price up. So it doesn't mean that the price is going to happen right away because, you know, our expectation because of what was going on last year, no one can predict the future in this. No one can. If that was the case, trust me, I don't even know if I'll be on this call if I could predict. I'm just telling you. It's just certain things that if you have that ability, it's just amazing, and no one does. No one has the ability to predict what's coming. I definitely couldn't predict COVID. It's a lot of things that are happening right now that's just unpredictable.
Right.
All right. Some people have gifts, but that's not one of mine. But what I will say, what I will say is that because of the market and the urgency and how many billions of people are getting involved in this space in the future and the projection of what's going on. anything that's limited like ours and as usable as ours, because you got to understand there's a lot of tokens and coins out there, but they're absolutely not usable. What I mean is that you can't take them and trade them in or go places and spend them, like going to a movie or buying some gas or flying. These tokens and coins are not built for that. But the IMC token in our project is an ecosystem. That's what makes us different. We're not just some token or coin someone's trying to solicit. We are a whole ecosystem. We're a lifestyle. And so with what we have, once everything starts catching up, the market swings back the other way, which it will. Everything that goes down goes back up. Trust me. And that's just the way it is. And this market is no different. So as we start to make that, the IMC token is going to go up. You definitely want to make sure that you have 50,000 tokens. If you missed it, go on the exchange. L-Bank, there's several other exchanges out there. Purchase it. It's at 11 or 12 cents at times. Wait, don't wait, but just purchase it at a low price. Get as many as those tokens that you can, because they are going to go up. There's a lot of things that are happening that I know about that they're going to be doing. There's a lot of countries, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of companies that are going to be interested in our platform because they're very usable. So if you don't have 50,000, just keep what you have and ride it. Now, if you're a person like myself, there's several other individuals that have purchased a high amount of IMC tokens. I think I got around 600, close to maybe 700,000 IMC tokens. So in my position, I was able to say, okay, well, let me go ahead and, get some final coin, because the final coin has not even hit the exchange yet. You can't even purchase final coin right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say that again. You can't even purchase it. It's like being a beginning of Bitcoin. No one has access to purchasing this. So if you do have an extra amount, like one of the members on this call, she had an excess amount. So I said, okay, it's nothing wrong with diversifying and balancing what you have. So she split it where she has half of IMC and then half of Final Coin. And so now she has leveraged what she has. So she's over 100,000 on both sides. On the IMC side, even more than 100. But on the final chain, on the final coin, I should say, FinCoin, he has 100,000 FinCoins that's not even in the market yet. You can't get any lower than that. You can't get any lower. That's like crazy. So that's what we've done. We've educated people to diversify if you can, but if you don't have enough of the IMC token, just keep building up. Yes, you may lack our ecosystem, but it's still a very, very valuable token, and it always will be because of what it does. So that's just the answer for that one.
Okay. And then the question in regards to the IMC token, I know there was always spoken of in regards to the card to be able to take out, whatever is in there to be able to purchase stuff, because it is usable. And that was talked about at some point. So that's not available at this time?
No, so we do have cards. So the cards that we have the global card, which is a backed by the batch card, and we also have next spend. I'm going to probably get everybody to pause because of the last conversation I had with the CEO. I talk with the CEO multiple times a week, but we do have a leader call, about 5 or 6 of us that have influence of where the company's going. And our last conversation, we were discussing having a program that's going to come in that, one, is going to lower the fees, so it won't be 5% on some of the charges anymore, but also we want to combine it. We want to make sure they were combined. Meaning that we don't have separate groups working with us. So we don't have a net spin and a batch. These are 2 different groups. We have one. And so it was announced, so I'm going to go ahead and announce, but it's through Fortress. It was announced on Saturday, which was yesterday, and it's called Fortress. And so Fortress now is going to be soon providing us an answer to lower the fees, but also allow us to have the global and the local, if you're in the United States, be connected to the same group. That's going to keep us more organized. And plus, like I said, you have a lot of companies, and, this happens, where they said, oh, yeah, we can keep up We can keep up with the amount of people you have coming through. And then, of course, when you get with them, that's not the case. You know, they really don't really do what they say they're going to do. So with that being said, you know, we wanted to take care of that as well. So that's going to be some of the things that will make things easy. I still encourage people to utilize the G-Point community because that is something that can be cashed out a little quicker. I know right now we're in this soft little period right now, and I know how fast it can be. But soon we're going to have a situation where things are going to be speeding up, especially within this group with the funnel that's coming out next week. I paused because I wanted to come into the fourth quarter. Typically, I'm going to say typically because sometimes people take my words and they make it where it's 100%. And so I want to make sure I stress these days because what I always am saying on these calls is typically or could be the situation. The fourth quarter, if you look at every single, charting it out, maybe the monthly chart would be a good one to use. You can utilize that. But if you look at the chart with Bitcoin and other cryptos like Ethereum, Litecoin, you'll notice that the fourth quarter is when things start to really move. We still feel that this year, especially with the people coming in, we're going to get a strong move this year, right? Would I sell this year? Absolutely not. I wouldn't sell anything I would have this year. I would wait, like I said, with that little period, that window of 3 to 5 years. Because if you don't wait, you're going to be experiencing what people in Bitcoin experienced. I have a lot of friends and people that unfortunately got so angry with themselves because they thought that when it got to $10, that was a big deal. Or they thought when it got to $100, then it was a big deal. Or they thought when it got to 1,000, it was a big deal. Or they thought that when it got to 10,000, it was a big deal. If you look at Bitcoin now, a lot of people are having anxieties off of bad decision making. And so I want to make sure that I encourage you on these calls that anybody that are dealing with long term, these are the winners. They will always be the winners. Yes, I know we do have to liquidate. We do need money at times. We do. But the individuals that stick and stay and just wait it out, those are going to be the ones that are going to be winners in this space for every single time.
Okay. All right. I do have a question for you. Talking about the noise that's out there. We have, they're out there, right? There's been information because the exchange right now is low, apparently from what we see, and that even the BlackRock is bankrupt, and you say otherwise. So we're looking at something different than other people?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, I don't know who would ever say that someone's bankrupt right now. I don't know where they're getting that type of information from. But somebody's definitely looking at the wrong info, yeah, I always keep it really real on these calls. But no, these individuals, we know of BlackRock. I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are not for who they are. I'm a business person. I'm not going to say I vouch for what these companies are doing out here, okay? I'm not vouching for it. I'm just giving information. I'm giving statistics. I'm not vouching for any of these companies. So when I name them, it's not like I'm a part of them. I'm just saying that when these people move, the world moves with them, okay? And if you don't know that, please look at history. When they move, people move with them, okay? There's certain people that just have that ability. For instance, Warren Buffett. Yes, people may not like Warren Buffett, but when he talks, I know Warren Buffett doesn't like crypto. He hates crypto. I just feel that this time he's going to have a mistake. It's already a mistake. If Warren actually would have moved into the crypto space, he would be so dynamic right now if he would have diversified, but he decided not to. So he's a big voice, but he didn't know what he was talking about. Why? He wasn't educated within this space. But when he talks, people do move. So when you look at BlackRock, you look at the exchange, all you have to do is do your back due diligence, and you'll notice that the market has gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down. And I'm not talking about small moves. I'm talking about huge moves, okay? Very, very aggressive moves down. Just to very, very quick. If you look at where Bitcoin came from, it started at around, 20-some thousand, almost 20,000, 2017. And then it pushed down the years after that. It went all the way down under 4,000, right? But look at the bounce. Look at that bounce in 2020. it bounced under the $3,000 mark, and it pushed all the way to 69,000. But as you know, it was going up and down, up and down, up and down until it hit that high.
Right.
So this is something that we have to get really rhythmic on. We got to feel what's happening. We have to say, what's the answer to these major problems? So the U.S. dollar is tanking right now, right? We know this. So what is the solution to that problem? If you're looking at that and you're saying, okay, I see this U.S. dollar, where are people going to need to move their money now? Right? If you look at U.S. dollar, where are they going to move it now, and where are you going to feel more comfortable moving it? Because we've already seen that the central banks have done us a disservice. They have done wrong by us with our money. They haven't managed it right. So people are going to want more control. And if you look inside of the digital currency space, I don't care about this stuff with Biden. I don't care about all this stuff that they're talking about, not political anyway. But I don't care about all this stuff with what he's saying about the taxes. None of that matters. What matters is that people have to have their funds go somewhere next. And we already know technology runs the world today. We know that. So the next move is money moving into technology inside of a technology space. And then outside of that, that's going to be that next exchange, because we're talking about the beginning of the movement of technology, the disruption. We saw what happened with the taxi cabs. Uber came in, Lyft came in, and I don't care if you like them or not, okay? I mean, you could say, I hate Uber, I hate Lyft. It didn't matter what you thought about it. They came in and they disrupted the taxi cab company. What I'm saying to you now is it doesn't matter what you feel about digital currency or crypto. It's coming anyway. We can't slow it down. We can't stop it. So even if you have a negative view of it, that's just your personal opinion and view. But it's coming no matter what we want. So the whole thing is, with you knowing that, what are you going to do about it? Because, you know, I don't like certain drinks, but it sells like crazy. I'm going to tell you some songs out there right now. I can't stand it, but it's still number one sellers. So at the end of the day, we have to, right? I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm like, who would like that music, right?
Right.
But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if there's a buyer, it's done, right?
Okay. I got one more question for you. And let me see if I don't have anybody here. Isn't that interesting? So maybe you answered it all. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to mention, and talking about, the fiat dollar, it's bye-bye basically, is and people are moving into the crypto world. So we're pretty safe crypto-wise in terms of what we have already invested so far, correct? I just wanted to say yes or no.
Yes, that's a very firm yes.
Okay, so my next question is, because of the global economic turmoil or downgrade that is happening all over the world, there is spoken of, a global reset where everything is going to change for all of the different countries as far as their currencies in regards to their values. So how would that impact where we are today?
Well, it's just going to force people more our way. Yeah, it's going to just force people more towards crypto because it can't be manipulated as easy as fiat, right? Fiat. So that's the whole reason why we're going to get to a $2.2 quadrillion space eventually, right? Yes. So that's the whole reason. It's literally what's happening around us. It's forcing people, and I'm talking about big people. I mean, look at BlackRock. I mean, look at Fidelity. These are huge conglomerates. These are not small conglomerates. These are mega conglomerates that actually come in and they save people out of their mess, right? BlackRock literally, helped many companies back in 2008 and 2009 stay afloat. AIG, multiple companies out there was saved because of BlackRock coming in. And again, we see them coming into the crypto space. And so this is something that...
So is that why some people say that they're bankrupt, because they've actually moved or are moving into the crypto space? The same thing with Fidelity?
No, they're moving into the space. Yeah, like I said, bad information out there. But
exactly.
no, they're moving
information.
in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, they're moving into the space because they recognize where the movement is. We see the movement. Anybody in the financial space, anybody that's been around like me, we can see it. I mean, anybody that's been in the financial space like I have, if you're not in it, this is not anything against you, but anyone that's in the financial space right now it's like Ray Charles, like I said the last time. You could be Ray Charles. You could be anyone that can't see, and they could feel this coming. This is something, especially in our space, we just know. And so when you look at, this movement that's coming, it's going to shift towards this more aggressively is what we're going to see because there's no real answers, for where we're going. Right. It's got to be technology. I'm not saying that the technology is not going to improve. I'm not saying that. Yes, it is going to improve. But what we're seeing right now is the foundation of our future, right? It's the foundation, of where our future is going.
The foundation of our future is going to be digital. That's also when a lot of the people that are listening to this call, we're always we're not always, because I don't. I mean, I know a little bit about it, and it's called the quantum financial system. So everything is going to go digital. That's basically the name of the game. Yeah, and it's very accurate, and anybody can see it because we've seen all these companies wipe out because they didn't take technology seriously. I mean, what else is there to say? Just look at the proof of what's happening right now. I mean, it's like how many companies have to go out of business that didn't wake up and smell the coffee that technology is taking over, right? It's just where it is right now. Even me, I'm the biggest belly-to-belly, shaking people's hands guy you probably could ever meet. And I'm going to tell you right now, my thought process got shifted tremendously. And I was like, Michael, if you continue to be the guy you are, and this is decades ago, you're going to get lost. You're going to be messed up really bad if you don't shift your thoughts. You cannot stay thinking the way you're thinking and be able to keep up with this new environment, these younger kids that are moving so quick. I mean, this young group that's coming right now is so savvy, so techy, that it scares me. I mean, I'm like, wow. I'm like, my goodness. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So. It is. But at the same time, we just got to keep up. It's scary. It's good and bad at the same time. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to see if this person has a question. Otherwise, we have no questions for today. All right. Hold on a second. And I'll just end with just making sure people have the info. I know they probably have it, but I'll just restate it. Why don't you go ahead and do that first, just in case? Yeah. So I just want to make sure everybody, just like all the calls, if you have interest in this, make sure you text free. And the number, I'm going to say it twice. I'm going to try to say it slow because I talk kind of fast. It's 954-330-3077. Again, 954-330-3077. And you're just going to text free with your first and last name, your email, city, state, and country. That always works really well. And I will definitely get back with you. If you have a phone that you're not able to text, you can also email, and the email is OKAYMR, A as in Apple, NDREWS @gmail.com. So okmrandrews @gmail.com. Again, that's OKAYMR ANDREWS @gmail.com. And like I said, same thing in the subject line, just put free. So then when I'm going through my emails, I can just see the free. And then, like I said, put your first name, your last name, your email, and that will help me in your state, country. Okay. All of that will be very helpful so I know when to call you and also when to get back to you. Okay? Okay. Before you go, Michael, I'd like to bring, Zorra? Yeah. I was just gonna have your dad also talk a little bit about what we're doing presently in the crypto world. Okay, but I want to talk to Michael about nodes as well.
Sure.
Oh, well, then why don't you go ahead and do that now before we before you bring your dad through, please. Thank you.
Well, no, I in private. Talk to Michael about
in
those.
in private. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Okay, Michael, we'll try to get a hold of you later. Okay. So
Yeah, that
Zorra,
sounds
why
good.
don't you bring your father? Yeah, great. Bring your father through, please. I know Zorra is coming through. And for those of you,
Beloved gods and goddesses.
Hi, Zorra. How are you?
I'd be wonderful. And you?
You're always wonderful. Yeah, no, we're like, we could say we're wonderful too. But I have a question for you, and this is pertaining to the crypto and the world that we live in presently. And what we are presently doing, many of us are already involved in investing, in the DAISY, the IMC, as well as the nodes. So, and of course, our teacher and educator in this area is, of course, a beloved Michael. So give us your point of view regarding the steps forward here, or how we're doing in this field.
Well, if you can afford to participate, then do so. Do not put yourself out, but
right.
if you can afford it, then go ahead and do it.
Okay, so how do you foresee this in the near future? What we've been doing with Michael or whatever else, crypto world. Tell us a little bit about your vision about what you see at play.
It's going to go. It's going to rise rapidly, and it's going to make several people to call very well off.
Okay,
and,
so when you say, you don't say several. Everybody who invests in this will be making money, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we should continue doing what we're doing.
Yes.
And so now we understand, looking at the financial, I think I don't know if that's me or if that's you, Zorra. There's a lot of interruptions.
Not I.
Really? I wonder if that's me. Well, anyway, so your vision, because of what is happening in the world, everything is still, people are still feeling insecure about how we're doing economically. And we don't want to talk about the politics. We won't go there. But economically, people are feeling like their money is, or besides, we won't talk about the gas prices either, but economically, generally speaking, the movement, it looks like, is really moving more towards digital, which is what you've said before. So where things are moving forward in the next few years, how do you see that? Do you see it still going down and up and down, or how do you see that streaming?
Well, I see what is termed as the fiat currencies are going away, and everything is going digital. And that way, people cannot, what you term, steal from you or steal from anyone, for that matter. And it is going to change the way you do commerce, most assuredly. And also, as I said, anyone who is involved, invested in this, do not get frustrated. Do not cash in your funds that you have invested, at least and not until the mature date of 6 months has come about. After which
well,
time,
I think,
you can take some out if you. But you want to, just like the WCL, World Crypto Life, IMC, it had to mature. It took 6 months to do that, and afterward you were able to take out a percentage of your earnings. Same thing with the nodes. Once they have reached their point of maturity, I believe it is 6 months also. And is that correct, Michael?
Yes, that's correct. 6 months. And on this one, though, instead of it being 10%, after the 6 months, it's 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
So you'll be able to, take funds out and to also get your card in regards to the nodes. And so you will be much better off that way. And but also understand that the fiat currency is being transferred over to USN,
right?
United States notes instead of Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is going bye-bye, and so is the IRS. There's all of your other three-letter agencies are going to also be becoming abolished as well, known as the FBI, CIA. All of that is going to go away.
Okay. Hey, Michael, do you have any questions for Zorra?
And then after what is called the Galactic Disclosure, it comes about. Everything that is happening in your world today is ushering the speedily, more rapidly approaching what you call the Galactic Disclosure. Everything is moving towards that, and what is happening over in the Ukraine and Putin and other countries, China, is pushing everything forward to the point where there's going to be an intervention from the Galactic Federation. And that's going to be when it changes.
Okay. And that's, well, we won't talk about when. So we know that it's going to be soon. So in the meantime, in the present moment, present days, that we just stay where we are and just be positive and know that everything is moving forward and positively, correct?
Indeed.
Yeah, and I think, with on the financial end of it, I think, we know that Michael is very aware of what's happening and not to rely so much on all the rumors that we hear outside that tell us differently, correct? Okay. All right. Hey, Michael, do you want to say anything or at this point?
No, I just want to, again, thank you both for opening these platforms.
Okay.
We're going to be getting a lot more aggressive with getting this out to people. It's definitely becoming a really strong mission because both of us on this call, all three that are on the call, I mean, we recognize that there needs to be education to help people to make sure that the direction that they're going in will be one that will be favorable for them. And so I will be connecting with the two of you because there's so many of the callers in different states, and we are going to be in these different states. And last week, believe it or not, I was in Vegas. We did a meeting in Vegas, and I got a chance to meet face-to-face, eye-to-eye, some of the members on this call. And I just want to let them know thank you so much for coming out to the meetings. But it was really nice because when you're on a call, you're hearing my voice, and it's just I'm hearing people's voices. But when you get face to face, it changes everything, and the dynamics are just totally different. So was able to talk to some folks and just help them to understand what they were doing and some of the things that could help them improve what they're doing, and also just a little bit more of what this is all about. So I'll let you know when I'm having events, so that if people on this call want to connect with me more at a physical level, so they can just be like, okay, you're Michael. That can be different. And then also people that they're working with, they may have family members that maybe are just not seeing it, or maybe they're just not understanding it. When we come to these different, venues, they can come and sit down with us, and then we can be more focused on their personal issue, what they're going through, and then be able to assist them. So I just want to make sure that's coming very soon. And that Vegas trip was the beginning of several. I have one that's in Texas. So if you're on this call right now, definitely text me. We have a Texas event that I will share with you, so that you can come to the event. And at these events, of course, they're more visual. You can see more, you can feel more. It's different, and that will be very helpful, so that that can make you comfortable and more confident on what we're talking about too, as well. Told you I can't stop the belly thing.
Hey, listen, Michael, when you go back to Vegas, let us know. Maybe we could meet you there then.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, and I'll give you a good heads up so that you'll know what's going on.
Would be, there'll be a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah.
More than normal.
Come to Reno.
I'm sorry?
What was that? I'm sorry?
You could always do it as time as come to Reno area.
Yes. We'll set that up as well. Yeah, we'll set that up as well, because I'm in Florida as well, so I'm going to be doing some home events too. So yeah, we can definitely set that up and have it where we can go right in that area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how many people we have in Reno though. So it's smaller, a lot smaller than Vegas. But
yeah, that's okay. I'm okay. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be a lot of people. I'm kind of one of those folks that it's kind of on that. It could be in a few folks. We just connect them together, and you know how it is. It just feels nice.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out as well. Okay.
Yeah. Down the road, sure, absolutely. But Texas, that's great. All right. Well, we have people down there in Texas, so everybody, go ahead and text Michael so that you can be there. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would love to make sure that they're there, because, like I said, it's just different. When you're face to face. Love the calls. I love to get information out, but when you're right there, there's certain things that you just may want to ask, and that's what I'm there for. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Okay. That'd be great. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. We love you, Marissa. Thank you all both very much for everything that you guys do. All right.
Love you as well. Love everyone. Bye bye.
Okay. Take good care. All right. Bye bye. Okay. Everybody, stay put. We'll go ahead and there we go. All right. Now we have a little bit of time left, because I wanted to make sure that we would have an opportunity to be able to talk with Zorra, because he seems always to be, when we have people on our calls, he's kind of put on the back burner, but sometimes that, we do love Zorra, and we know that he's always around, but I wanted to make sure that we also had time to be able to ask questions of Zorra. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and bring Zorra. Don't go too far. We'll go ahead and start off with the first person I have here on our call, and that's 208 ending in 8394. Okay, 8394, Zorra is here.
Okay, hi, Jane. This is Connie from Idaho.
Connie. Yes.
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it. And, I just want to know, either you or Zorra, have you heard about, they're starting to say on the Internet that Inky is coming back, and that
Who is coming back?
It's Inky. It's INKI. Inky.
Okay.
And then there's Ennill. It's ENLILL, Ennill. And it's So these two were when the Anunnaki were on Earth and doing their thing. These two leaders were also involved. Okay, so I would like you or Zorra to tell us all that are listening, because it's on the internet now. Is there a negative factor here?
Well, what are they talking about? No, what are they saying, though, Connie?
All right, okay. So
and
they're
where are they
from?
saying
it,
Who are they? Where are they from? What constellation or where?
Well, it's not on your website. It's other different websites where they talk about, like someone will come on and say that they have heard. And if you could just maybe Zorra could kind of enlighten, when Enki and Enlil were here on Earth, were they really a negative factor in that there are two bloodlines? There is the Enki bloodline that is supposed to be a satanic bloodline, and then there's the Enlil bloodline that is from Archangel Michael, the Christed consciousness bloodline. So can you shed some light on that?
Interesting.
Well, first off, what I'm going to tell you is going to shake many people up. There is no such thing as a satanic Enki.
Okay.
There's no such thing as Satan or the devil. All of that is created by the religions to control people to fear.
Can I ask?
Exactly what it is done.
Yeah. Hey, Pawnee. I don't know where you got this information, but does Enki actually say he's on the bloodline of Satan?
Two bloodlines, the negative and the positive. Does the
okay.
Archangel
so he comes.
Archangel Michael started one bloodline, and then when Source, the negative factor, the shadow, broke off, it became the negative bloodline, which is they kind of said that there was a leader. Enlil was the good factor bloodline, and Enki was the one that kind of led the negative bloodline.
And,
is that true?
Both of them are. Is that no? Hold on a second. And they're coming from the Anunnaki.
They were sons of Anu.
Okay.
Who is an Anunnaki? Anu.
All right.
A-N-U.
Anu. A-N-U. Okay, gotcha. Okay, now that's a little clearer. Okay. All right, go ahead, Zorra. So they are both sons of Anu, probably coming from a higher density, and one took one road of negativity and the other one positivity. And so the negative side is Enki, and the positive is Enlil.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about this.
Well, just don't use the word Satan or devil or Satanism, anything of that nature, because that is a creation from the church.
Okay, so
understand
the negative.
The negative forces, the Anunnaki that came in to mess with you today, they were the ones, the ones of the Anunnaki that were of a negative nature. You understand, in every culture there is positive and negative, and in the Anunnaki is no different. You have the ones that were of the evil side that came in to mess with the DNA of the humans, and then you have the other Anunnaki that were not doing that participation. They were positive. So understand, in every what you call culture that has been on the face of the planet Earth, you have your negative side and you have your positive side too. So understand that not all Anunnakis are evil. Only a certain part of them were. And they were the ones that came in to mess with your people.
So are the names, Zorra, I-N-K-I, Inky is one leader, and then the other one, the positive side, is E-N-I-L-L, Enlil. Are they actual beings, leaders of the good and the bad, coming from the Anunnaki? I want to verify those two individuals.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
But
well,
also
is Enki returning? Is Enki returning?
Anything of a negative nature is not welcome on this planet.
Oh, good. So he, if he does come, he's not going to be able to do anything.
No, he will not be able to do anything at all.
Oh, good. You know, Zorra, that is a really good answer. That'll help all of us.
Understand the negative side is going to be put in check by the galactics. And so all those that were of a negative nature will be dealt with when the Galactic Federation announces themselves to the world. So everything that is of a negative will be dealt with at that time.
All right. How about that, Pawnee?
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, that is wonderful. I know everybody that's listening that has heard about this is going to be very happy with what you said. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Take care.
We love you, Pawnee. Take care. All righty. Bye-bye. All right. So just before I open up the next question, before we opened up the board, Zorra, you had mentioned previously, while Michael was on the phone, that the galactic disclosure is going to be forthcoming. It seems like it's going to be very, very soon because of what is happening politically. Not politically, but worldwide, what's happening with Ukraine and United States and Russia, China. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that situation. Why you think that the Galactics, or that maybe that the Galactics are coming sooner rather than later.
When the announcement was given, or the warning was given by Putin about a possible nuclear attack, that was when everything went into more of a advanced stage. As far as that goes, understand at that moment the Galactic Federation, Ashtar, from the Ashtar Command, there were ships that are cloaked, but they are over every silo in China and in Russia right now.
How about over the United States?
Well, right now, the United States is not going to be firing upon the China or Russia, but there are over every silo that's supposed to be able to fire intercontinental ballistic missiles, all being monitored by the Galactic Federation. So,
I have
if any missiles are fired, they will be absorbed.
Well, I have a question. I thought, in China, we now have, what is that? Z is now not the bad guys, but Z, who's supposed to be the good guy, and Putin, who's supposed to be a good guy. Why would they be doing that? I thought they were on our side.
Well, they're being pressured by the others in government.
Oh, just like in the United States, you'd feel pressure from both the Senate and the House of Representatives to do whatever, right?
Yes.
Or the military.
Yes. Indeed.
So that's what's happening. They're not
above every silo in China, Russia, America, wherever anyone has, Ukraine, Iranian, Iraq, all over.
Wow.
They're all being monitored by the Gulf Federation right now.
Wow.
The ships are cloaked and are in high altitude above those locations.
Oh, gosh.
So they will not be able to wage any nuclear holocaust at all.
Well, since that is at play, what is the intervention here that's going to come through so that there won't be any ballistic intervention at all? What's going to happen? Because we can't depend on Biden. So what's going to happen then to mitigate all of this?
Well, Biden is going to, health-wise, his health is going down rapidly and is going to continue to decline. And so he won't be able to, what you call, be in command anymore anyway. But
we don't want Kamala either.
No, even the other one does not wish to become president at all.
Oh,
she does not wish to be at all, and she will not. The New Republic is going. That's also all the events are pushing the New Republic forward.
Right.
Even more so was. And so that's coming about much sooner than later.
So Trump will be at the helm.
For a time, yes.
Yeah. Well, for a time, that's good. I mean, that's what we need. So you're waiting. So we're waiting that particular intervention for things to really cool down. And without, any ballistic warfare going on, that will be Trump then, correct?
Correct.
Because I know he's already working on that. He's already doing what he needs to do to mitigate all of this. Isn't that true?
Of course.
Yeah.
Understand that, when it comes to Biden has what you call, he is playing a part, and that's all that is occurring. His Air Force One is the original 707 Air Force One, and the actual Air Force One that was when President Trump was in office is stationed with Trump. To understand,
correct.
He does not fly around the country in Air Force One, in the real Air Force One. He does fly around in a 707 Air Force One.
You're talking about Biden.
Biden.
And so Trump's is what, a Boeing?
A what?
Is the Air Force One with Trump the Boeing?
747.
747. And Biden is on what?
A 707.
Oh, 707. I don't know my planes, obviously. Okay. All right. Okay. So at this time, why don't we do this as a huge group that we are, is to send some love and healing to the chaos or to the situation politically and globally to bring peace. Let's have peace, right? Can we do that with you, Zorra, please?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive.
Okay, everybody together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We receive globally as one. We have peace now, and we know it. From our gods and goddesses of our beings, let there be peace now in our world. And so be it. It is done.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Zorra. All right. Okay. Well, let's go on to the next caller. Thank you, everyone, for letting me ask Zorra that particular important question. All right. Next caller now is 503. Whoops. My phone. All right. Here we go. 503 ending in 3323. Hello. Welcome. 503 ending in 3323. Your line is open for Zorra. Hello? Okay, so we'll go ahead and let you go. Next caller now is going to be 502. 502 ending in 7576. You are on the air. Again, let us know who you are and where you're calling from. Thank you.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Zorra. This is Pam in Kentucky. How are you all doing? Hi.
We're good.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make a comment about what Connie was talking about, the Inky. Ishmael Perez talks about that quite a bit. He's just my throat. Anyway, he's just one source where I've heard that from. So just wanted to let everybody know that he does talk about that. And then I do have a question. When Michael was on...
Hey,
sure.
Pam, hold on a second. I got a question. So when
Sure.
he was talking about the Inky and the Enlil, was he referring to them as satanic bloodlines and archangel bloodline? I mean, how was he referring to either one of them?
I believe he did bring up archangels, and he did say that at least one of them was evil, and that the other one was not.
Okay. All right.
But
very good. Thank you.
He explains all that in great detail.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might want to look him
very
up.
Very good.
And you'll get, yeah.
All
All right, Mike.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, to your question, dear. That's okay.
Yeah,
Go
my
ahead.
question is, when Michael was on, he said, or Zorra said, that, maybe both of them did, that after 6 months, you could start withdrawing 20% of your earnings. Did I hear that right?
That's going to be on the nodes.
Oh, on the nodes. Okay, because I don't have a node.
Right.
But if you don't have a node, you can't do that.
No.
Okay. All right, that was my question. Thank you, guys. I love you
very
all.
good. Okay. Love you, too. Thank you, Pam, for your call. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. Next caller is 817 ending in 1564.
Yeah, it's Fernando in Texas. Hello.
Hi, Fernando.
Yeah, my question is when the galactic disclosure happens and Zorra goes back to Hollow Earth and Zorra moves on to his next project or whatever, who's going to channel Zorra? Who's going to channel Zorra?
Go ahead, Zorra. It's your question.
Understand when my beloved child goes and returns to Hollow Earth along with Quasar. If I continue talking, it will be in my own being.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, just like over the phone or in person or what?
He will be in physicality.
15 feet.
Well, I would shrink my body down to that of a normal sized adult male, but and of course my skin tone would remain the color that it is, which was a turquoise pallor.
Yeah, he'll be the only one, I think.
Okay.
And I will be talking not just to certain peoples. I will be talking to the world.
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, wow. Well, that'll be very interesting, Zorra. That'll be great. So Zorra and I can go do our thing, right?
Indeed.
I'm sure you can't wait anyways to come here on your own and just be you. That would be magnificent, Zorra. Thank you. All right, everybody. I think we are going to call it a day. It's been an amazing, amazing day, again, with lots of really great information, coming from our speakers, from Dr. Tom, Drs. Jerry, Michael, and, of course, our beloved Zorra and Zorra. So with that being said, I have no more information in regards to Q. I do know that we're expecting to have a call with him probably latter part of this week. And whether it's going to be a Q&A or a one-to-one, most likely, everyone, it might also be a regular call. I am now working on a big call coming up. It won't be in October just because of situations, et cetera, more likely probably by mid-November. So look forward to that. It'll be really a great, great, big, fun show. So anyways, otherwise, we'll see everyone sometime latter part of this week with Q and Zorra again, probably more likely with Q and Zorra in the background. And we love you all. We all know how to be able to stay in the high vibrational frequencies that we know who we truly are. Listen to the YouTube by Alice Jones. It's called I Command. It's very touching, very beautiful. I know all of you will appreciate it. And I know I'm going to send this to Q also so Q can go ahead and listen to your music, Alice. And so thank you for that. We have also a couple of others, and we know who you are, the twins. One of these days, twins, bring on a nice show, a nice song for us too, so we can go ahead and bring that forth to everyone who would like to listen. All right. Everyone, have yourselves a wondrous, glorious, and loving day. Send out loving vibrations wherever you are to everything that is happening on Earth and in whatever avenue you would like to do that in. Take time to be able to do that in silence and be the God and Goddess that you are always. Every word, in every feeling that you have, and know that you are always loved, that we are all one, and that we are perfect, and we are one. That's all. Thank you. Zorra, 54321 for everybody, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we receive. And from the gods and goddesses of our beings, we receive. And please fill in the blank for yourselves. Thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a wondrous, glorious, and loving day again. Thank you. And our call is done.